A very good evening and welcome to this Saturday's edition of Yes 101 Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Tinal Tilakaratna.
And I'm Mariam Gunavijaya. First up is a look at your headlines.
Newsfirst headline.
Will not accept Ranil's invitation for IMF discussion with opposition, says SJB's Tisatlanaka. Final rites of Sri Lankan family killed in mass stabbing to be held in Canada. Gaza aid ship expected to sail from Cyprus. Sri Lanka takes on Bangladesh in third T20 International.
In your top story, national organizer of the SJB, Tisatlanaka, has questioned why the opposition is being invited to the discussion on IMF proposals at this particular time. He says that if the president made the invitation with the intention of getting everyone involved, then there's nothing wrong with it. However, with their concern is how the involvement of the opposition would affect the people of the country and its consequences. Attanaka says that the SJB are not prepared to be complicit in the decisions taken by the government. He says that the opposition will provide its final decision on this invitation. However, so far the opinion is to decline the invitation. This is the national organizer of the SJB, Tissa Attanaka.
අපිට තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි මේ මොහොතේ එවැනි සාකච්ඡාවකට අපි ආයුත්තේ ඇයි කියන කාරණේ.
Why are we being invited to this discussion at this particular time? Was the invitation made with a good intention? If the president made the invitation with the intention of getting everyone involved, then there's nothing wrong with it. But our concern is if all of us get involved and it affects the people, how can we take up the responsibility for it? Just like last time, the International Monetary Fund officials could meet the opposition leader separately again this time. However, we clearly say that we are not prepared to be complicit in the decisions taken by the government. The opposition will provide its final decision on this invitation, but so far our opinion is to decline the invitation. Given that foreign debt restructuring hasn't been achieved through these negotiations for over a year, being drawn into this current stressful situation is unacceptable. Therefore, the majority of the party opposes participating in this discussion.
එනිසා මේ සාකච්ඡාව සඳහා සහභාගී නොවීම තමයි පක්ෂයේ බහුතරයක් දෙනාගේ අදහස.
Meanwhile, arrangements have been made to hold the final rites for the 6 Sri Lankans who were killed in Canada. Resident monk of the Hilda Jayawardhanarama Buddhist Monastery and of the Buddhist Congress of Canada, Venerable Mahagama Sunita Thera, said the final rites will be held with the support of the temple and the Sri Lankan community in Ottawa. The temple will make funeral arrangements according to religious rites for the victims on the request and advice of the families. However, the Canadian police have not yet released the bodies of the deceased as investigations continue. The final rites will be conducted once the autopsies are done and bodies are released. Now, 6 Sri Lankans, including 4 children, were killed in the mass killing in Canada on Thursday night. Foreign media reported that Danushka Wickramasinghe is currently receiving treatment for the serious but non-life-threatening damages to his hands and face. The death included 35-year-old Darshini Kanayaka and her 4 children as well. Gamini Amarakun Munyansalage, aged 40, was also found dead at the scene. Ottawa police arrested a 19-year-old Sri Lankan man in connection with the murders.
The Department of Railways says that there may be train delays on the coastal line from today to Monday morning. This is because only one track of the coastal line from Colombo Fort to Vallavatta is functional due to a planned maintenance activity on a bridge between the Kompanyuvidya and Kolpiti railway stations.
International news.
In international news, a ship carrying desperately needed the humanitarian aid is expected to set sail this weekend, bound for Gaza. The Spanish vessel Open Arms is scheduled to depart from Cyprus, the closest EU country to Gaza, and hopes to use a newly opened shipping route. With no functioning port and shallow waters, it is still unclear where the ship will dock when it reaches Gaza.
Sports news.
The third and final T20 international between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh will be played today at Sylhet. Both teams have won one match each and today's match will decide the winner of the tournament. Wanindu Hasaranga, who did not play in the first 2 matches due to a suspension, will also join today's match. Sri Lankan slinger Matisha Pathirana is unavailable for the third T20 international as he's having sustained a grade 1 hamstring injury on his left leg during the previous match. And with that, we wrap up Yes 101 Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Thinal Tilakaratna.
And I'm Mariam Ganavijaya. Thank you very much for joining us.